ube into zakuthi kodwa ke siyazi ba zikhona izinto apha endleleni ekuzafuneka simane sizipanel beater. For example, now we have just been given a mandate of the introduction of the ECD sector into the mainstream. This afternoon we are going to discuss at the HOD with social partners, the PPN. How are we going to locate that? This afternoon, we are going to discuss the post-provisioning norm, Mr. Mabon. Are you going to discuss figures or are you going to discuss content? Because if you discuss content, those figures must be able to say what then informs the policy direction. And therefore, if you say you have won the battle of decolonization of education in the country and in the continent as a province, and as such, the minister have ushered in the mother tongue bilingual education, what then becomes your take in the discussion in afternoon? Do you have teachers for that? If you are then saying it's not enough that we are passing by 100%, we need an aggressive attitude and pragmatic approach on vocational skills. Have we prepared ourselves for that? Because in essence it means we must then persuade the people of the province to take vocational skills subjects so that they can understand where we are and undermine the South African Schools Act in the process that gives that authority to the SGPs. You can't say the SGPs must tackle a decision in schooling. It's too sophisticated for them. You needed a bit of an ongoing thorough engagement with the SGPs and say, sithatha le direction ngoku. And therefore, bakhona abantwana apha esikolweni ekuzafuneka beziyekile ezinye zezi subjects bethathe le direction. Remember, as a parents azikho kule level ukuyo ngokucinga. Uzoba ne problem yet discourse in thinking. So I'm saying we needed a rupture in terms of unraveling the skills shortage that we have in the province and also in the country in general. 2 months back, I was saying in another platform, Sispink, the province is a construction site. We're building schools, we're building roads, we're building hospitals, we're building government properties. But for me as an MEC for education, it can't end there. Kuni right niqhwabela ukwakhiwa kwendlela nokwakhela izikolo neclinic, but that narrative is not enough. Because I must answer whether is there no exported skill in the construction itself. Because as long as those roads, those schools, those hospitals are built by people outside of the country, then there is a serious question about the schooling system in the country. As long as that your development as a nation to export skill outside of the country for you to achieve what you want to achieve, then there is a serious question about the schooling system, including the universities, and by the way. So I'm saying we have got a very, very extraordinary task in front of us. We don't have time. We don't have time. We must be able to think beyond and outside of the box so as to rescue the generations that are coming. Because currently the Premier was saying to the last Executive Council last week which in my view is a serious discussion the nation, Aubrey, must engage. Chairperson of the committee, Comrade Sondab, sakha imoto apha eNash, iMercedes Benz. Sikhuphe ihambe, not a single individual has bought that car. Ibuyele back kowayo eJapan. Then iyawuthengwa by a South African when isuka eGermany kodwa ibinziwe apha eSouth Africa. Now xa ithengwa ngoku apha eSouth Africa funeka ithengwe ngevalue yaseGermany as an export. Funeka ithengwe ngevalue ye-currency as an export by the people that have manufactured the car. Andani baniyandivana. Senze imoto apha, sawugqiba uyenza ilayishe ezinqanaweni, iphindele kowayo kuba kho kowayo apha. Bayodetermine prices nendlela emazithengiswe ngayo. Kula process yokubana bedetermine prices funeke ke ngokuthina sibuye sibe ngabantu abayothenga eza moto njengemoto esuka kwelinye ilizwe whilst they were coming from here. Same thing with VW, in fact the automotive sector. So you needed a bit of a thorough ongoing discussion as a nation on how strategically locate some of the economic trends and patterns that we have. I was saying in that meeting, let me repeat it here. Maybe it's quite a sophisticated issue lena yemoto. Ndithi kubo kula ntlanganiso. In fact, nokutya okunuzokutya ikokwalapha eprovincini ngoku ngelunch. So you have got a nation that is fed elsewhere. Go back to 2021 unrest. If you want to understand me on this debate on food security and food production. Une unrest KZN, within a short space of 2 weeks, then the province was running short of gas. Why? Because gas is coming from KZN. Within a short space of 2 weeks, already there were indicators that we are going to run short of certain food aspects as a province, which then tells you that equally the food you eat comes from Western Cape, KZN, and Free State. A quite security risk for the province. Quite a security risk because there can be unrest there or anything happening in that province. You will find yourself being the first victim of that unrest. And I'm then saying, if we talk development, we needed a bit of a deeper thinking as a sector, and also encourage the schools that we have. Mr. Makak, we encourage the schools that we have to continue to be torchbearers. Your St. John's College, your Toli, you name them. But equally, we must find a solution, Prari. Sibanqandele abantu baseMpuma Koloni. I don't know how, but you'll have to. I know that you are a specialist. You'll have some views and opinions on how to tackle this matter. If you look in terms of the performance systems in the province. Kanguthi zengayithethi lento brare. There is a serious contrast that the most paid schools in the form of the private and independent schools are the ones that are underperforming in the province. Diphinda nindivanga. Ndithi le 70,000 uyibhatalelayo kwezi private and independent schools i-underminewa yitoli. I-underminewa yitoli no-fee school. Ubani nethuba zenimcele brare aninike la research la report. And I'm then saying it must be made a public document. What is the meaning of an expensive schooling system that cannot produce anything? What is the meaning of this? Are we paying just for kids to be affluent? So that ka kufundwa uchilo lwamatye basikhumshele pha emakhaya. Ka kufundwa uchilo lwamatye pha basikhumshele. Are we paying for that? Or are we paying for a holistic cognitive development of a kid? And if then that's what it means, why are these private independent schools underperforming in the system? I Bishop, I know it's a sensitive debate. Abantu bazathi hayi siyazibhatalela. But indeed, as a responsible, caring government, you can't allow that thing to be allowed not to be engaged. Because abantu basame kwinto kokubana better quality education is on the private sector in education. It's not. In this country, it's not. I am challenging you. Go and analyze the results that the minister has issued last year, and even this minister that is going to issue at the end of the year or beginning of next year. Uzofika, results in the country are concentrated on quintile 1, 2, and 3, even in terms of the quality, which then tells you that the more government takes a decision to invest on rural development, the rescued the communities will be. The rescued the communities will be. So bendisithi ke ngalo mazwi, let's forge ahead, try to be smart, and try to find a way of ensuring that we don't lose the focus on the campus. Because the campus is the national development plan. Whatever contribution that we do must not leave the side of the campus. Because kungenjalongo, uzoba nengxaki brare. But ke okwangoku make sibe sibacenga ngoku. Ultimately, funeka sibe nendlela ephucukileyo yoyi discourage i-maths lit. A very sophisticated way of discouraging it. Because in my view, iza kunika yena 100% lumfunayo woqhatyelwa izandla. Kodwa njengoba kuqhwatywa, funeka uyazi ba uqhwatyelwa ukungcwaba abantwana babantu behleli. Ngokuqhwatywayo, funeka uyazi ba akuqhwatyelwa lo 100%. Kuthiwa well done for burying the kids alive. Because we must find a way of ensuring that akufundelwa kupaswa e-Eastern Cape. Kufundelwa ulwazi. But awuzukwazi uyitsibela laa nto mboxela, because i-competition in the country is very high. Whilst you are dealing with the content, uzobuyela kula namba mgqutsu, uphinde ublackmailwe. So you must be balanced how you approach the quality and the quantity at the same time, so that you can be able ultimately to get what you want. Because into fana sibe mzekelo sibe number 1 in the country mabona weMathletes. What difference does it make, guys? It can't be. It can't be. So masingapaniki kulento yokokubana the province is beginning to reposition itself and become one of the best provinces in the country. Masingapaniki kulanto, because upanika kwethu safuna usishiya ezi subjects ezinzima. Sifuna uthatha ezidlula because sifuna uqhwatyelwa izandla. Sifuna uqhwatyelwa izandla. And I'm then saying, mayingenzeki lonto at the expense yabantwana babantu. Masibe nendlela yoba, how do we make sure that we get the best out of nothing? The best out of nothing. Ndivala ke ngelithi kotishala, i-collectively effort. Masidlaleni indima yethu sonke, from a learner to a teacher to a principal to an official to an HOD to an MEC to an SGP chairperson to the business sector of the province. Let's play our role accordingly. Let's play our role accordingly so that we can get at least the accolades that we deserve. Imbali ayisivumeli basibe kule ndawo sikuyo. Nabani na osezingqondweni kweli lizwe uyayazi into yoba before 1994 uze ndibe nomntana ofundileyo funeka siwe eSky naseTranskei. Now i-question ke ngoyoba intoni lesiyenze wrong after 1994 that we must fix. That we must fix. And I'm then saying we still have an opportunity to do that, and the system yethu iyasixelela into yobana we are getting there. I am not lying to you when I'm saying kulo unyaka we have been given 85% by the people of the province. We accept that and we're going to make it. But critically for me, yoba lo 85% sizamfumana. Aba balapha phezu kwethu bazabe befumene bani? Because whether by default or by chance, we must be in the top 3 now. We must be in the top 3 so that you are able, because ingako banayo kulento mfundisi ndizohlala phansi seyifuna kuba iculture ye-South Africans lento yoba i-performance it is giving you a leverage of wisdom. Naxa usezintlanganisweni yamamela nje qomhe kutheni ngathi xa ungaperform ungakungazinayo into ebhadlileyo. Danger yalanto cannot be associated with the DNA of this province. This is a province of legends. So the DNA of this province cannot be associated with underperformance across all sectors, not in this department, across all sectors. So hence I'm saying, sina responsibility, chairperson of the committee, to respond even kula 77,000 unemployed young people of the province as this department. ayonto kaDr Dalia okanye economic development only. Yinto karhulumente wonke uba how do we deal with the issue of the 77,000 unemployed in terms of the last quarter statistics that have been issued? And hence I'm saying you just needed a bit of a very meticulous wall-to-wall plan that contributes into the upliftment and development of the province entirely. And that's our responsibility. Uzoyenza ke lonto ngokucinga, uzokuyenza lonto ngokwenza, uzokuyenza lonto ngothatha risks, uzoyenza lonto ngobetheka. Ndiqabela ngayo leyo betheka ngamabomu because people that have got no mistakes are people that have got no effort. Uba ufuna umuntu ongena ngxaki funeka uyazi ba une problem nalapha ekucingeni lanto, because uba nangabe uyacinga uyenza awuzungabetheki, because you are trying to fix up things at times that are awkward for you, and in the process system ikuthatha yokulahla ngapha yakho lwandle. But must we then celebrate that and stop trying again? And the answer is no. It's only those that have got setbacks in their lives that succeeds. It's only those that have got setbacks in their lives that succeed. Now I say nje apha ebomini uba apha embalini yakho zange ube nangxaki awusoze ube successful because you don't know life. So ubetheka kwakho uzofuna uncama yonke into uthi hayi expose le land. It's naturally that where there is a positive spin-off, there is going to be a negative spin-off. So ngalo mazwi bendisithi ke siyabulela kakhulu ngecontribution yotishala, sibulela kakhulu ngecontribution ye-SGBs, Mama Mapundu, sibulela kakhulu ngecontribution that has been made by the business sector. Without you would have not done that much. Sibulela kakhulu ngestability that has been demonstrated by the social partners in the sector. Sibulela kakhulu mfundisi ngokucontinuisha nisilungisa ngokwasemphefumulweni so that sibe ready ukumelana nezanzwili zexesha. Sibulela kakhulu ndikuchance ndithi bhuthandi. Sibulela kakhulu. Yes, indeed, it's gonna be a mountain to climb to transform all schools into an inclusive education schooling system, precisely because of some of the issues that the chairperson of the advisory council was raising here. Yabona apha udube nebudget ento engeyo yalapha apha Mama Upingi udube nebudget engeyo yalapha apha ubomba inhlambo fela mashinyane le, because lento should have been sorted out there, but because ngokine relationship nabantwana besikolo so funeka education ayo plana oba aba bantwana base Alice balwayo xa kuphuma isikolo sithini thina singu education. Why? Because abantu bezalali abayithathi serious into ye tribal wars, bayithathi serious. Now you are likely to be litigated for a kid that was taken out because ayiphilanga kwafuneka ihambile igodusiwe apha endleleni yadibana namanye amakhwenga lapha elalini ayixabela. Now whose responsibility is that? And I'm then saying, because you are a caring government, you can't then throw that. Ngumntana womntu lo. Noba bekutheni ngumntana womntu lo. So wenza kanjani ke ngoku into bana at least kube khona noko uABC wesikolo kuthi sonke si understand that the environment as operator kuyo is quite a toxic one. and we must save the lives of these particular kids. Kodwa, sekunjalo, colleagues, Reverend Fetcher, continue to pray for these teachers and officials. The attack that they get every day is immeasurable. It's only those that have got courage that can sustain here. Abantu abanezinto nabanexesha lokwenza ezinye izinto bangabaleka apha because of hailing insults that comes to them almost every day. But I'm then saying, I always say, HOD understands this. This is a sector of insults. If you don't want to be insulted, don't come here. Because uzothukelwa nokokubana kutheni kukho results besikade zingekho izolo. Uyeke leyo bazikhona ngoku kufuneka uyophendula uba bezitheni zingabikho izolo. Uthukelwe lonto. So that's the nature and character of the sector that we serve. But unfortunately, and fortunately for us, we're equal to the task, colleagues. Enkosi kakhulu, xolo ngexesha lakho. Program Director, enkosi.
Thank you, MEC, thank you. Colleagues, this is now the last round. I'll be asking umhlolo mkhulu wesikolo uba azosijolela le session. This is the session of handovers. MEC, something very interesting in what we are sharing with us is the fact that, colleagues, sometimes when we look at the system, see Jonga with a cursory glance, we're not looking at it with a deep eye. Kule 5-year review bisenzeka MEC, one of the biggest improvements as Zekleyo is the learner retention, and Eastern Cape was #1. And everybody was trying to find out, well, what did Eastern Cape do differently? And it came out that your school rationalization program is one program that was able to stabilize schooling because you realigned schools. You built up new schools, you built bigger schools. As a result of that, there was stability in the system. You will find Besicil was defender, Mrs. Petrol rationalization. And the narrative has always been wrong. We say, no, the narrative is to restructure our schooling system so that it can produce the best. Because if funding formula is always about the number of kids you have, the fewer children you have, the poorer resources you are going to get. Now, if you consolidate into big functional schools, the better for all of us. Colleagues, let me hand over to Mr. Mchita, Ujuda, azosijolela, kuthiwa xa bizwa phokobo, ngusilo sitshekile. Sisithakazelelo sapho. Isatsho.
Thank you so much, DDG Kiwakati, and thanks to the Honorable Premier for the words of encouragement. I guess not only to the learners, but to all of us who are involved in the work that the department is responsible for. Thank you so much. At this stage, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we now come to the main reason why we are gathered here this afternoon. And we shall be trying our level best with Usis Nandi Tembo. Perhaps I need to introduce her formally. Mrs. Tembo is Director responsible for partnerships in the department. So she's very central in putting this occasion here. Is very central in getting us, all of us here. Is one who reaches out to all of us, to our communities, to our social partners, to everyone who is here, particularly the business sector, whose contribution it is that has enabled the department to fulfill this big dream. Somebody said something about dreaming. Ngesixhosa that uba uphupha amaphupha uthi sawugqiba ungavuki nawo ubusitsho Mr. Bindi. Because somebody had a dream. But I think that the sector was fortunate that that dream was shared. But the dream was not only shared, but was embraced by everyone in the sector with whom the dream was shared. So we really want to thank everyone for making it possible. We shall now call upon the first category. As you know, and in fact, as the programs are actually directing us, the first category will be the category of 2 primary schools, and that is Dumalisile and Jongi Quiz. Perhaps Mrs. Tembo will actually indicate what it is that the MEC, perhaps we shall first invite the MEC. Can we kindly invite the Honorable MEC to come forward? Who else? The principals of Dumalisile, is it here or there? Mpatiswa. The principal of Dumalisile Primary School. Che, the was about who principal first. No, the principal if I'll be in a seat. No,